Oh, now, business news.
Yes?
Important business news. Classic cars. Values have been shooting through the roof in recent years and months, actually. And I think I know why. It's because if you put your life savings in a bank, you get, what is it nowadays, 0.5% interest? It's about 0.5%. So if you put £25,000 life savings in the bank, you get...
125 quid.
It is about 125 quid a year back in interest, OK? Now, if you'd have bought 10 years ago an E-Type Jab for £25,000, it would now be worth £80,000. £80,000. And you'd have had an E-Type to drive around in, because you can't drive around in a bank statement. So it makes perfect sense.
And there's no tax, presumably, on the profit on
a car,
No, there isn't.
No, on a car you can sell it and you don't even pay any tax on it.
But there's quite a lot of cars doing that. Ferrari 275 GTS, if you bought one of those 10 years ago, about £130,000. Now, £500,000 in 10 years.
I know, it's staggering.
Yeah, that's all right. The difficult thing, though, is knowing what to pick next, spotting what's going to do that. Is it?
Talk to me.
Really?
So, Jeremy, what's going to be?
I once bought a BMW 3-litre CSL for £3,000. They're now worth 40, 50?
Yeah.
Easily.
How much did you sell yours for?
1,500 quid.
Well done.
I am the man you turn to at times.
What? Come on.
My
Your
tip
top
now.
Tip.
Subaru Impreza, probably.
We want to take this quite seriously, though, because we could actually dispense sound financial advice.
Yeah,
and actually, a car I've noticed that has gone up a lot in recent years is the Rolls-Royce Corniche.
Yeah, like the one you've got, James, really.
Yeah.
How much is it worth now, James?
About £1 million.
Is it? Is it really?
That's nothing compared to the Mercedes 600 grosser.
Ah, such as the one you've got, Jeremy.
£1 billion.
Really?
A billion?
Yeah.
A straight
That is
billion.
now £1 billion to
Wow.
buy one of those. If anybody's interested, give me a shout after the show.
Yeah.
Now, you know those dot matrix signs on motorways, the overhead gantries that are used to warn you of impending doom, OK? Well, sometimes there is no impending doom, so they put up other messages. Now, I was driving along the other day, and one said, "Have you prepared your car for winter?" And I thought, well, when I bought it from Mercedes, I rather hoped they'd done that already. Like to the heater. What?
Well, how exactly do you prepare your car for winter? What are you supposed
Well, we
to do?
genuinely don't know. Does anybody have any ideas how you would prepare a car for winter?
Winter tyres, shovel.
Winter tyres. That's. I mean, you could conceivably put winter tyres on, but you'd only need them for what? Half a day.
Yeah.
And they cost like 150 quid each. In the olden days, you probably did actually have to prepare your car for winter.
Yeah, no, perhaps that's the problem. The man writing the sign is stuck in 1953.
Yes.
James, is it you? Have you been moonlighting, writing signs?
Don't forget to lag your engine block with some stout canvas.
It was you.
Can I direct you to your jacket?
I can see you looking. What?
Before you say I'm locked in 1953, Mr. Toad.
I'm the only modern one here.
Really? Alfa Romeo, they have a proud history, don't they, of really excellent names. Evocative, emotive names. Julia, Spider, Giulietta, Stradale, all great names. Yeah, well, they've released photographs of a new Alfa. Here it is.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, I know. Oh. Lovely, lovely. Except it's called the Gloria.
Gloria.
That is Gloria. You're looking at Gloria.
Gloria is not the name of an Italian car. Gloria is the name of a receptionist.
Yeah. Gloria has her glasses on a chain round her neck.
Gloria wears tights. What's it called when tights are really thick? Is that 15 denier or 100?
That would be 100.
100, right. Gloria wears 100 denier tights and they rasp when she walks.
We went off topic.
We have gone very off topic.
Now we're going to do the news.
Yes, we are. I've had another theory.
Good.
Oh, God.
No, you love my theories.
No.
OK, this one. You know Jessop's and HMV and Woolworths and Comet, they're all closed down recently.
Yeah, Jeremy, this is a car show.
Yes. Bear with me, OK? And everyone is asking, why are people shopping in retail out-of-town, centres, and town centres are just becoming boarded-up shops and women in short skirts vomiting and catching herpes, right? There's a very good reason for this. It's because when you go to an out-of-town retail centre place, you can park your car. When you go into a town centre, you can't.
Right, so what are you suggesting?
It's easy to fix Britain's town centres, rip up every double yellow line and sack every single traffic warden.
Oh, right.
Everybody's running around going, town centres are dying, what shall we do? It's easy!
But if you allow people to park anywhere in the town centre, it'll become impossible to get in or out.
No rubbish, it's true.
So you think parking restrictions are just out of spite?
Well, what else are they for?
You mean?
They go, hey, we did really well. We got a £12 revenue today from our parking restrictions. Meanwhile, every shop's shut.
We need to have a more French attitude to parking. Because the rule in France is if there is a space that a car will go in, you put your car in it. Even if it's on a mini roundabout.
Yeah.
That is the rule.
James, why aren't we running the country?
Why are we presenting this programme with Noel Coward?
You were Mr. Toad last week. You really are moving around. Right, we've sorted parking. Good. Now,
now, on this show, we've always said you can't be a proper petrol head until you've owned an Alpha, which has always been a bit of an embarrassing problem for me because I haven't. But that might be about to change with this, the Alfa Romeo 4-seat, little two-seater, 1.8-litre turbocharged engine mounted in the middle, chassis made of carbon fibre.
Well, at least it won't rust.
no, they'll find a way.
Will it?
Yeah, well, you know, they'll have bought cheap Russian carbon fibre that's somehow oxidised. You know what Alphas are. How much is it?
It's going to cost between 40 and 50,000, something like that.
I've got a bit of a problem with that, I have to say. I don't think the looks are quite right.
Hey, it's gorgeous.
I think it's a bit too tall.
Exactly, it is. I'll tell you how it does look good, though, is if you see the plan view, we've got one of those. Now that,
yes,
I think is good. It's almost a square.
That's a view Hammond will never have.
Oh, come on,
Open goal.
It kind of was, yeah, all right.
Hammond.
What?
You like a Camaro, don't you? The big new Chevrolet Camaro.
Yes, I do.
OK, well, they've made one just for you. Here it is. There you go.
Oh, funny. Funny. Thank you.
It's actually, ignore the little one, that's a Hot Wheels one. What they've done is a full-size Hot Wheels model of the Camaro.
What? So they've made a full-size version of a model which is a miniature version of a full-size car.
Yes, can't
to start.
understand the logic myself.
No.
There you are, that's what they've done.
That's a brilliant idea.
Is it?
Well, that will survive an 800-mile-an-hour impact with a giant skirting board and come out completely unscathed.
The worst thing about Hot Wheels was when you get up in the night for a pee and you tread on one. Or Lego.
Lego is...
Or an upturned plug.
No. Lego's worse.
Why?
Because an upturned plug is big, Lego hides in the carpet. Can't see it, and then all
Is
of
there
a sudden...
anything worse than an upturned plug for treading on in the middle of the night?
Lego.
A landmine.
A tiger.
Your house, James. I know something worse.
Dog.
Dog. I was about to say. You took the words right out of my mouth. It's the ow.
It's
If you have a lot of dogs,
moment.
it can happen. It's not a...
It is. You have horses in your house.
On occasion, yes, it has happened.
Have you ever trodden in some horse manure?
Possibly unbeknownst to me, I just had a warm foot.
Anyway, if you want a full-size model of a toy car, it's basically a Camaro with Hot Wheels written on it, it's £40,000.
Yeah, but it will be worth more if you keep it in the box.
The news. You know there's a new Volkswagen Golf?
Yes.
Very nice, actually. But in 4 months, there'll be a GTI version of it, OK? Now, that will have 217 horsepower, or actually, no, it's German, isn't it? Cow power. 217 cow power engine, and it's going to be about, what, £25,000. Thing is, though, there's going to be a rival for this. You know the car we looked at last week? The Kia C''D. Well, look at this. This is the... They're calling it the Proceed GT, and I think that looks rather good.
It does.
And it's £2,000 less than the Volkswagen.
Yeah, nearly £3,000 less, actually.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah. And the thing I like about that is they haven't gone absolutely mad with it. It's a 1.6-litre turbo, 200 horsepower, which is, well, actually...
Well, no, it's not horsepower, it's Korean.
Yes, it's dog power.
It's not... I tell you what, though, if you don't want to spend that much, and the reason I would bring up these hot hatchbacks up is Volkswagen has announced, you know the little Up, which we love?
It's a great little car.
Really brilliant little car. They've announced they're doing a GT version of it. It's here, OK? Now, this is going to have 110 horsepower, so exactly the same as the original Golf GTI. It's smaller than an original Golf GTI. It weighs less than a tonne. I reckon that will be epic, and it's £13,000.
No, I think that could be brilliant. So if you have ordered a new car for later this year, S-Class, Lamborghini Aventador, whatever it is, cancel your order, you want one of those.
You do? That is going to... I can't wait to drive that. The next problem we face, and this is a big one. You know when James is telling you something and you start to feel drowsy?
Oh, God. Yes, it's like you've had a whole bottle of red, 5 portions of shepherd's pie in front of a fire.
Yeah, and it's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. He's in the middle of a story and you nod off.
It's awkward.
OK, it is awkward. However, it's all going to be solved with this. £8.99. You clip it on your ear, OK? Right. Get sitting still. James, explain talk.
Talk? Talk is fantastically simple, Jeremy. It's just a force at a distance. That's why it's in pound-feet, for example, or Newton-meters. So...
It's waking me up as well. What's the point of that? I can hear
It is
him
actually.
now.
I'd rather be asleep with his lectures. No, they also say it can be used for drivers. So when you're driving, you can have it on your ear, and then if you nod off, it'll wake you up. But, and this you'll love this bit, it says in the blurb it could be used by airline pilots.
What?
Oh, really? That's some comfort,
It's
isn't
reassuring, I think.
it? Yeah, mid-Atlantic thinking, well, it's OK because the fate of me and all these other souls on board this jumbo jet lie in the hands of a £7.99...
£8.99.
£8.99 Chinese-made earpiece.
I don't actually know how much a Boeing 747 costs, but I'm pretty sure the price isn't something 99.
No, it
But there's a component on it that's something 99. Besides, can you imagine if they said, right, an announcement now from the flight deck. Wake up!
It is a stupid idea.
It is a stupid idea.
It is time to do the news, and it's good news because the Dacia Sandero is on sale in the UK and taking the nation by storm.
Great! Now, the Mercedes SLS, there it is. There's a new black version of it. There's a picture of it there, and it's yellow. It's got 60 more horsepower than the standard car. More speed, more violence.
Dear God, is the brochure written in bullet holes?
No, the brochure is carved into your face with a hunting knife.
Is it?
That's what they do.
I wonder if they've addressed the problem with the old one, which is that you could never get it sideways, could you?
No, this one doesn't go in a straight line. It's funny, actually, weirdly, a friend of mine has recently bought a Black Series Mercedes, and every time I see him, I say, how's it going? And he pretends it's great. It's fine! I'm really enjoying it. But you've aged 30 years in a week. Hello! Is that really like it?
It's like saying, I've got a new attack dog, and it's great! You never know when it's going to attack, or who, and I love it! And that's what that is.
It's a big yellow attack dog.
It's very silly.
Ladies and gentlemen, this morning, Richard Hammond was late for work.
Oh, I'm sorry, I know.
I arrived at 8:07, you got there at 8:10, you arrived at 10:47.
Yes.
10 to 11 when you
Sorry, I
arrived.
was
And this
late
was
for school.
good news. Because while we were waiting for you to rock up, James and I were talking about the enormous success we had last week playing car rugby.
Exactly.
And I think it was a great success. And we were thinking, are there any other sports that you could play in a car?
Were you?
Now, you were so late, we decided to go out onto the track to see if you could play tennis in a car.
You can't.
You can't?
No.
Really?
Yes.
Well, we had a couple of cameramen out there, so let's just find out, shall we? Here we go. This is how we filled our morning. Serve.
Here we go, this is a good one.
Whoa! It's a great shot. Yes! What? It works!
Yeah, no, it does. You can play tennis in cars with a bit of editing.
Little bit of editing.
Sure.
It did work really well, though, and it was really good fun.
Well, I'm sorry I missed it. Anyway, we must now do the news.
Yes, and it's bad news. Dacia have got their name wrong. Have you seen the car ads they've been doing? They keep referring to themselves as Dacia.
No, I think that's because that's how you say it in Romania where it's built.
Hey, you know, there's another labelling problem they've got. Because I was reading up on the new Sandero, it says it's got 90 horsepower. Now, with everything that's been going on, how do we know that isn't cow power?
Good point.
Because those abattoirs that are supposed to have got the model are in Romania.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Apparently.
And we went to Romania once, so we did see a lot of people riding around on cows, rounding up horses.
Yeah, and all their farmers complaining about getting up early to milk the horses.
Exactly.
It's a bore.
So it is a 90 cow power car. We've established that. Good. I'll tell you what I think is funny, though. Can you imagine the British police trying to do beat the meat?
Oh.
Heat.
It is heat.
You could go, right, I've tuned up the yesterdays. I reckon I'll get 120 out of it down the straight there. Who wants to take me on?
What a spectacle. Now, there is another version of the Mini, yet another.
Oh, not another.
There is another one. We needed one in 20 minutes. It's out this month, it's on sale. It's called the Paceman. Here it is. Look look at it. It's so miserable, its little face. I saw one coming the other way, coming into work the other day, and it just looked so catastrophically sad. Morning, it's all over. I hate being a mini. I had to sleep outside and a dog weed on my wheel last night, and all the big cars steal my petrol money. Look at it.
Hammond, do that face again. You do look incredibly like it.
Do look It's so depressing. Why have they done that?
I tell you what, though, for radiator grills, have you seen the new Lexus IS? That's like it's got a vacuum cleaner on the front.
To lift your feet as it goes past.
How hard can it be to do a radiator grill? Oh.
Convenient registration. Minimum deposit of 1000 rupees via Paytm or Skrill. First deposit bonus up to 20,000 rupees. Bets. Casino. For a bet.
Now, the Ford Mustang we featured last week in the race across Europe, OK? That seems to have captured the hearts and minds of everybody. I mean, really...
Everywhere I've been, all week, people have been talking to me about that.
Yeah, non-stop. Well, big news. Ford has announced, because they've never sold the Mustang officially in Britain, OK, since 1964,
no.
They've announced that the next generation of Mustang coming next year will be built with right-hand drive and will be sold in Britain.
About time. Brilliant. Good news.
There is, however, a tiny bit of bad news.
What?
Well, the V8 version will be sold in America, but because we're only British, all we can have is a 2-litre EcoBoost engine.
Oh, for God's sake! Do they think we want that?
I can't understand their logic, because, I mean, if you want a Mustang, it's because you want a big V8 muscle car. There's no other reason for buying one.
Precisely.
So if you want a 2-litre EcoBoost car, you're going to buy a Golf diesel.
Not a Mustang.
It's like saying, I formed a punk band. We've got the cellos. Except for Sebastian, he has a harp. Nobody wants a harp in a punk band. Nobody wants a 2-litre EcoBoost engine in a bloody Mustang.
You can keep it, we don't want it.
Yeah, you just keep it. Keep it. Now, while I was driving down here, I saw one of the new Jaguar F-Types. OK, have you heard about this? It's the new Jag small sports car. I've got a picture here. It is a beautiful-looking thing.
Oh, yes.
And actually, it's even better looking from the back. That is a sensational-looking thing. But I tell you what has surprised me about it is I thought it was going to cost sort of 40,000, the same as a Porsche Boxster or a Mercedes SLK.
Yeah.
It's going to cost between 60 and 80,000. And even on the top models, you pay extra for heated seats and keyless entry and so on.
I'll tell you what worries me about that. I bet they have set that up more for handling and less for comfort, which will be a mistake, I think.
God, it's for younger people. That's the...
It isn't!
It is!
It isn't! Younger people spend 150 quid on their cars, not 80 grand. Only person who can spend 80 grand on a car is in their 50s.
That car, Hammond, it is, well, yeah, us, but it is made for people, exclusively for people who make a noise when they sit down.
Hey?
Yeah, could you go to a Jag dealership to buy that? And they'll say, oh, Mr. May, come in, take a seat. And you go, oh, thank you. Oh, yes. Sold.
Oh, God.
That car is for people who watch TV or text, not both at the same time.
You do realise you two are now officially the oldest people in the world. You're aware?
Yeah, but, Hammond, we can't all be 36 forever, mate.
I like it, I'm sticking with it.
Bad news. You know, when the Tories came to power, they said they were going to up the motorway speed limit to 80, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, the new Transport Secretary, who's called something dreary, Patrick McLaughlin, he's had a rethink.
Oh, God.
No, he says that he's unlikely to up it to 80 because in his constituency there's a very bad road where a lot of people get hurt.
Yeah, now this is quite interesting, isn't it? Because his constituency is the Derbyshire Dales, and we had a look at a map, and there are no motorways.
Yes, so what this means, ladies and gentlemen, is our Transport Secretary in Great Britain doesn't know what a motorway is. The man is a blithering idiot.
No, but in all seriousness, you can't really have a Minister for Transport who isn't interested in, for example, cars and roads.
It would be like making you the Governor of the Bank of England.
Don't do that.
No, because you're not interested in the economy.
Well, no, but I could sort it out.
How?
Well, I could sort out the budget deficit. Well, I'd find out how much it was, and then I'd write a cheque for that amount from the Bank of England.
You probably has a point. That could do it.
Well, maybe
That's economics covered.
Well, and I'd have minted a £9.99 note to make life easier for shopkeepers.
Right, Volkswagen, OK? Volkswagen named the Tuareg, which we've got a picture of here, the big 4x4, after the Tuareg, the North African tribesmen, OK?
Yes, and it must have seemed like a very good name at the time, mustn't it? Because they're a tough, romantic, nomadic people. They're eking a simple living from the harsh desert.
Unfortunately, it turns out that today the Tuareg are running guns from Libya into Mali and fighting there alongside hardline Islamists.
Yeah, I think we can be pretty sure there will be some high-level, very urgent meetings at VW this week.
Yes, they're not. Yes, they're certainly dropping plans now for the new hatchback, the Bader Meinhof.
Yes.
A nine anymore.
This van, the new VW Lord's Resistance Army, I think we'll strike it.
That's the one with the independent rear access, or IRA for short, isn't it? Yeah.
But if you think about it, you only need one letter to drop off the back of your Polo and you'll have a VW PLO.
It turns out every single Volkswagen is named after a terrorist organisation.
Right, there is a new Corvette out. Now, they've brought back the Stingray name. All new chassis, so it's got perfect 50-50 weight distribution, 450 brake horsepower from a 6.2-litre V8, which means 0 to 60 will be under 4 seconds.
And the best thing is it makes you 27% more attractive to your sister. You know the old Maserati Quattroporte? We all agreed on this, actually. It was one of the most want-one cars.
Yes.
You just got in, oh, God, I want one of these. Fantastic thing. For me, though, the only problem with it was, I thought its headlights were a bit too small. You know, they were out of proportion. Well, there's a new Quattroporte been announced, OK? Here it is. And I think it's got the same problem. It's got piggy little eyes. It looks like Ray Mears.
What? A bit fat and lives on squirrels.
Do you know the best thing about Ray Mears? You know he always wears those very tight shorts? Well, when he bends down to whittle something, you can always see a testes.
That is the best thing about Ray
The
Mears.
best thing.
The occasional glimpse of chicken skin outside of his shorts.
No, it's you know what I mean? It's just...
I know.
You know what I mean? It's
No,
always...
don't.
Oh, don't bend down, Ray. Oh, no, there it is.
Oh, well, the boys has popped out.
Anyway, if you do want a Maserati, there's a V6 turbo, which is £80,000, and a V8 turbo, which is £108,000.
I did want one quite a lot. You have now ruined it.
And that's the end of the news.